From old legends like Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain to superstars like LeBron and Damian Lillard, these are some of the best NBA debut performances of all time. Starting with Damian Lillard.
He's at the point where you could either make excuses or you can figure it out.
Damian Lillard leading the way with 51 points.
Dame Dollar.
Now, I'm sure everyone knows who this is, and as incredible as this man is, it's no surprise that his debut was amazing. But before I get into the specifics of that, I want to tell you about his rookie year as a whole.
That voodoo that you do so well. Oh, he scrapes the sky with a right hand.
Yeah, this man was a problem, guys. It was absolute domination from the very beginning. Back in his rookie years, he averaged 19 points per game. And sure, that's not the highest we've ever seen, but remember, this was his rookie year. He was posting 19 per game against seasoned NBA veterans while he was a young debutant. Speaking of which, it's time to talk about how amazing his debut game in particular was.
He put up some impressive numbers. He finished second in the nation. Now he has an opportunity lead the Portland Trail Blazers as a guard out of Weber State.
That's right, he ended up equaling some pretty impressive records. For one thing, he scored 23 points and handed out 11 assists. I know, insane. And this made him the third ever player to score more than 20 points and 10 assists in their debut. If this isn't crazy enough, the man also became the fourth ever player to be named the unanimous Rookie of the Year. Yeah, a stat line of 23 points and 11 assists is a good score for any point guard. So the fact that Damian did it in his first ever game is crazy. As awesome as this is, though, Lillard is just the tip of the iceberg. The next guy on this list is Isaiah Thomas. And much like the previous player, this hooper was also a star point guard, except he was the guy that started the trend of the current style of point guard play we see in the NBA. Thomas is maybe the best point guard in NBA history, and from his very first game, he was ready to dominate. Yeah, the numbers speak for themselves, guys. This man scored a whopping 31 points and handed out 11 assists in his first game with the Pistons. And not only was this an incredible performance, but it also gave his team a much-needed win over the Bucks. Plus, with this amazing debut, Thomas instantly became a beacon of hope for the Pistons, who'd only won 37 games in the last 2 seasons. Also, this man is one of the first ever to score more than 20 points and 10 assists in his debut. And Lillard followed in his footsteps when he accomplished the feat years later. Alright, that's 2 amazing point guards. Now let's get to one of the best debut performances a center ever gave. I'm talking about David Robinson.
After a very successful rookie season under his belt, the future was looking bright for Robinson and the Spurs.
Now this guy was big, and by the end of his career, he was able to achieve some insane stats. Honestly though, given how amazing his debut was, I don't think anyone had any reason to be surprised. He debuted in 1989, after being the first pick of the 1987 NBA Draft. Yep, he was that good. Anyway, his first game came against the Lakers, and he dominated by putting up a score most seasoned players struggled to get. Yep, this guy posted a whopping 23 points and 17 rebounds. His performance was so amazing that the legendary Magic Johnson commented on it, and he said something very true, at least for the guys on this list. Some rookies just aren't rookies at all. Now this statement is especially true for this next guy, and I'm sure you'll all agree. That's right, I'm talking about the one and only Allen Iverson.
Looked like he was dead in the water. Allen Iverson makes it 103.99.
And this guy was especially impressive as a player because of the fact that he was pretty small for the league. In fact, he looked so small next to the giants playing in the NBA that no one ever really thought he'd be anything special. And boy, were they wrong. His style inspired a ton of new players. And ever since his time in the NBA, more and more impressive short players have come along, like Steph Curry. Anyway, for his debut, Allen posted a monstrous score of 30 points and 6 assists. In his first game, guys, 30 points is genuinely impressive even when a great and experienced player achieves it. Yeah, it was insane. But that's not all that Iverson did. No, he also made a one-handed dunk that left everyone stunned. Alright, now that I've gotten over some of the legends of the past, it's time to get to the greatest active NBA player today, LeBron James.
Whoa!
Now it looked like he jumped out of the mezzanine to dunk this ball. That's sending it down.
King James was the most anticipated NBA player ever. I mean, this guy got famous in high school, and he was the guy. There was no question that he was the best at the high school level, and the basketball world was going crazy. Everyone wanted to see what the King would do when he reached the big leagues. I mean, the guy signed a $90 million deal with Nike before he even debuted. And congrats to Nike, because James lived up to the hype. The guy didn't even need a quarter to get used to the NBA.
For the easy slam.
And he scored 12 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 rebounds in the first 12 minutes. Overall, James ended the game with an impressive score of 25 points with 6 assists. Yeah, he set the tone for the rest of his career with this incredible debut. Now, this next guy managed something even greater than the incredible LeBron James, and I just have to talk about it. Yep, I'm talking about Michael Carter Williams.
The 7th steal of the game. Carter Williams' 8th steal, adding to the record.
Now, this is a name some of you might not remember next to the glamorous names of Kobe, Jordan, and LeBron, but this guy ended up having one of the most incredible debuts of all time. Yeah, he managed to post 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, and 9 steals. And not only is that a very complete performance, but it's also very close to being a quadruple-double. That rarely happens, and it hadn't happened when Williams almost pulled it off since 1994, when David Robinson made it happen. If that doesn't impress you, that insane 9 steals number was a record, and it was the most by any player in the history of the NBA. Yeah, impressive. Still, there's one guy left whose debut was so great that no one else comes close, and that's Wilt Chamberlain.
I was paid to play basketball, and people paid to come and see me. And so my coach and the owners felt like, hey, people pay to see him, leave him out there.
Yep, you guys knew this one was coming, and there's no way I could leave this guy out. I mean, his debut performance was insane. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of Wilt the Stilt's dominance in the league throughout his career. I mean, he's one of the biggest names the sport has ever produced, and he's the guy that's known for scoring an insane total of 100 points in a single game. As crazy as that number is, let me tell you, it's not at all a surprise when you consider what he pulled off in his debut. Yeah, in the first game he ever played, Wilt stepped onto the court for the Philadelphia Warriors, and he scored an insane score of 43 points. Yep, that's crazy, and it's a number that dwarfs all the others that I've gone over so far. But that's not all he did, guys. The man also managed the absolutely monstrous stat of 28 rebounds. Yeah, a true athlete and beast if ever there was one. Wilt's debut, much like many of the other guys on this list, truly set the tone for the rest of his career. The man was dominant in the league from start to finish. Those were the best NBA debut performances of all time.